but like...
A goal with launching Flicker Fade was like, I wanted a project that I was excited and passionate about. And I think that is the key to like... Is this the unhinged section of the interview?
No, that's next.
Oh, good.
How was I sitting? I think like...
It doesn't matter.
Sure.
It does matter. Everyone's going to point it out.
Yeah, I'm going to look at it.
They're like, why is he sitting weird?
All right. Can't like two-hand grip this.
You can. Yeah, extra grip.
Alrighty, it's part...
Oh, you guys even have a fun voice to go into it too.
Yeah, we do. Alrighty.
The goal I've had with launching Flicker Fade and this new project was like, I want to... We can wait for the audio break.
The ominous roll.
And action.
All right, guys, nice and easy. Who are you and where are you from?
We are Gloomer, and we are from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh. Awesome. What kind of music do you play?
Alternative rock.
All right. And then what's your favorite part of playing a show?
There's too many of them.
I'll take this one.
You take it.
Just like seeing everybody's reaction, especially when you mess something up and you're like, did they see that? Did they catch that? We had a lot of those last night. But yeah, no, it's just fun. We just have fun playing shows. That's just getting out and playing a show is the best part of playing a show.
If you guys want to do a quick like plug your shit section, that's awesome. Like where you're online.
So we are online. We're on the Onion browser on the dark web. No, I'm kidding. No. You can find us if you just go to gloomermusic.com. That has basically a link to everything where you can get us on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever you like to do your music streaming. Bandcamp, if you don't like to support the man as much. But yeah, and to like our merch and our label Head to Wall, who's based out of Columbus. We love Columbus, so.
Awesome, guys. Huge thanks. Looking forward to the show.
Great,
Thank you.
Yeah.
So who are you guys and where are you from?
We are Teeth Marks from Columbus, Ohio. And I am Pete, and I play bass, and this is Josh. And
Joshua, sing and play guitar.
Alrighty. So what kind of music do you guys play?
That's probably a better you question than I.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those questions that's sometimes difficult to answer, but we love bands that tend to turn heavy into pretty and quiet into loud. So you know, there's a good handfuls of bastions of that style. You know, going back to when Pixies started doing it in the late '80s. I think all of us really convened on a love for the band Hum, which was a '90s band that did that quite well. So it's it's sometimes a little what might be described as post-hardcore.
Yep.
Okay.
You know, melodic, heavy. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Deftonesy, I guess, or like Quicksand. Like
Quicksand.
at times,
We get Quicksand comparisons sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, and our last question for you is, what's your favorite part about playing live?
Oh man, I just love just loving people seeing people enjoy what's going on. You know what I mean? I just like being on stage. I enjoy playing with these are, you know, I spend at least one night a week with these guys and have done so for like probably the last 15 years. And so like being on stage with people that I love and like getting to do this is just it's a privilege. And if anybody, like first and foremost, but if anybody enjoys it, secondly, that is like just the ultimate best thing that I could ever ask for. You know, so many people just play as a hobby or don't ever get to do anything like this. So anybody coming up and saying like, hey, I enjoyed your set, while you're enjoying the thing it is that you like to do most, is just the best. I mean, can't ask for any more than that.
That's a perfect answer. I think it's something that's been like pretty new for us. Maybe in this iteration is like I don't want to say we're not trying hard, but like we just love playing together.
Yeah.
Right. And I like to think we play to 5 people the same way we play to 500.
We have.
Yeah. we played to plenty of empty rooms. That's
Yeah.
for sure. But I think we're all just at a stage where we've been playing music together for long enough that this is what we do as a group of friends.
Yeah.
And when people connect with that, it feels incredible. You look out and you can tell when you have a crowd. Sometimes you don't, and then you have to dig deep and figure out just to have some fun on stage. But
Yeah.
I think it's just like making sure that we all love each other and love being on stage together.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so who are you and what instrument do you play?
My name is Alex Kessis, and I play bass guitar and do some backing vocals, and screaming and whatever the song calls for.
So what bands do you play in?
I play with A Tiger Made of Lightning from here in Columbus, and I play with an emo cover band called Flicker Fade, also from Columbus.
Heck yeah. And then what is your favorite song to perform live?
Right now, it would probably be All Your Gods Have Failed You with A Tiger Made of Lightning. Favorite cover song to play with Flicker Fade would be Miss Murder, because there's kind of like the bass kind of drives that whole song. Like there's not really a bass solo, but it's just very like distinct with that. So
Heck yeah.
yeah.
All right, that's all we got. Thank you so
Cool.
much.
Thank you.
Our first question is, where did the name Minnows come from?
Man,
Whose idea was that?
I think it was mine.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly, but I know that coming up with band names is one of my favorite things to do. Like the text thread that's involved in doing that is always hilarious. Things go south for a while.
Did we talk about other band names?
I feel like we came on, like, we decided on Minnows pretty quickly.
Yeah, in my mind, Minnows was the name really early on, and it was like, we were just like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It wasn't really ever in depth. Once that was raised.
Yeah.
And that was pretty early on.
Yeah. We're tiny fish in a big pond of musicians, so it makes sense. And our music is powerful, and it reminds me, it has a lot of water vibes going on with it. So yeah, it just seemed to make sense, and everybody agreed pretty quickly. So,
Who are some of your all's biggest inspirations?
The way the band was presented to me was Ben, our rhythm guitar player, and the band was kind of his idea, from what I understand. And I was the last person to join. He had recruited the other guys, and then I was the last person you guys approached. But the way the band was presented to me was like, we're all gonna get the biggest amps, and we're just gonna do what we've always wanted to do, which is be a really loud rock band. And so I immediately started thinking about bands like Hum. Hum is kind of like the standard for me as far as like huge guitar rock. So that was my immediate reference point, I think. But then along the way, I feel like and I know Sean, started from a different place probably, but along the way I've like started to think more about bands like Sonic Youth and Fugazi and like kind of noisier bands doing more experimental things with the guitar. And then of course like bands like Quicksand, the big post-hardcore bands, were a big reference point for me.
Personally, I'd say like my biggest influences are probably Built to Spill and Swerve Driver. I love guitar solos, but mainly like I really love melody. So I'm a songwriter, and I love a sense of pop music in songs. And I think another band that we all agreed on that had influenced all of us a long time ago was Far.
Yeah.
And so that was something early on where we kind of became friends, and I remember talking with Alex and Ben about like possibly doing like a Far cover show at some point, and we've been talking about that for like 10 years. But right when we formed the band, the pandemic happened. And so I think that's kind of what forced us to get, or wanted us to get, like all the huge amps. Like we couldn't play music. And so suddenly when we decided we were going to do it, it was like I got my first full stack, which is I've never used. Actually, I used it once.
So impractical.
And my speakers were set up wrong, and my Marshall head blew half of one of the cabinets. So, yeah. Anyway.
To kind of circle back to your small fish in a big pond, which is the music scene.
Yeah.
Columbus itself has a very active and big music scene.
Yeah.
How do you guys find yourself like kind of going through and being able to catch a following and stand out?
Well, we're still working on that. We've all been playing in it for a long time, and we've had, good luck and bad luck with different projects. But I think at this point, like as you get older in the scene, you start to recognize who's been doing it, over and over again, like who's still going, and you decide, you realize like who's really dedicated. Everyone can start to afford better gear and stuff, which, is kind of fun. That starts to become something that you think about. Yeah, and then it's a matter of like really, we still have the energy to like, keep going and to try to tour as much as we can. But then it's, trying to find younger bands that have that same sort of energy and intensity that we do. I guess that's the challenge now. And so we try to go out and support as many local bands as we can as well. And, there's a lot of younger bands that are influencing us in all of our different projects. And the scene is really vibrant, and we're really lucky to be a part of it.
Hey, buddy.
What's up?
Do you want to answer a
Do
question?
you want to sit down? You should sit down.
You go in.
Is this actually plugged in?
This is actually
Yeah, that's a real. I offered them the prop mic, but they didn't want
They
it.
didn't want that.
Alrighty, we got just a few more for you.
All right.
One of our favorite questions to ask is if you guys have any fun live stories that just crack you up or make you real embarrassed.
I can tell you that Sean, he's mellowed somewhat, but he is kind of notorious for his chaotic stage presence, and has spilled beer on my pedal board like at least half a dozen times. Not even in this band, like.
Didn't he like knock over your entire keyboard rig?
Yeah.
At, like, the Beatles marathon one year?
No, at
it was here,
it was here. Yeah. So I put out a solo record, and Sean was in my band, and he yeah, like knocked over a computer and a keyboard. Nothing was broken, fortunately, but
There's a really funny GIF of this.
yeah, there
that
is.
exists of him.
And Alex and I play in like a Weezer cover band. We played the Blue Album in Pinkerton, and we had Sean come up. We often have Sean like play harmonica or sing with us, and he came up to sing a song years ago, and within the first like 10 seconds of him being on stage, he'd spilled an entire beer on my pedal board. So it's just like what happens.
Yeah, it's hard to dance with a full beer, and I can't stop dancing. So that's
Got 2 things left for you.
all right. Awesome.
Second to last one is we like to ask everyone that we interview for an album for us to review on our podcast. That is how we got suggested yours. So if you had an album for us to listen to, what do you think it'd be?
You guys know Coil Guns? They're a band from Switzerland, who I got hip to like last fall. They put out an album called Odd Love that just really grabbed me for whatever reason. It's like a post-hardcore kind of vibe. There are moments that remind me of At the Drive-In.
I would suggest when Teeth Marks releases their album, which is I think right around the corner, to check that out and give it a review. I'm very excited to hear what comes out of that. I know they just finished recording, so I'm sure it'll be out soon.
For sure. As far as national acts, I'd say my favorite album last year was Corey Hansen.
Yeah.
It's called Western Come. It's a real catchy name. You just spit on my face.
Oh, sorry, man.
I didn't mean to excite you so much.
Yeah, it was the Western Come.
It was the Western
But
Come.
yeah, man,
Really
it's like incredible songwriting. I'd say, it sounds the biggest rock riffs I've heard in a while. It's super cool. It's like George Harrison meets Dinosaur Jr. or something.
It's a killer record.
It's incredible.
It takes us to our last thing. This is our favorite segment of the show. This is the Plug Yo Shit segment, where you get to shout out anything you got going on, coming up, or coming out.
Well, we're working on the next record. And it's in the early stages, so we have no idea, what that timeline is gonna look like. But we're optimistic we can get it done faster than the last one.
Yeah.
And
we set a very low bar for ourselves
we sure
in terms
did.
of timing.
Sean's just been cranking out ideas, and we were actually listening to some of them on the way to Pittsburgh yesterday and getting excited about at least the beginnings of what will become songs. And so I think now it's time to dig in and see what happens.
I'm really excited about the new Eternally Psyched record.
Oh yeah, you've been working.
Yeah, I've been helping those guys, with some ideas. But they're just an incredible band, and they've all been in town for decades. All been in different bands that we've been excited about, and so I'm super excited for that. And they've got a lot of shows coming up too.
Dan's songs are super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.